All right, right on time. We are ready to open the public hearing for Tremont School at 57 Brown Street, limited
Put
site
it so the
plan
camera
review.
can see it.
Yes, if you could actually set your presentation up over there so that we and the camera could both see it together, that would be great. And while you're doing that, I'll just introduce us. My name is Al Adelot. I'm the chairman of the planning board. And the two other members with me are
Steve Oppenheimer.
And David Mendelson. Good. And Betsy, where is the plan?
Right. And if you could just let us know what it is that you are proposing. This is an amendment to your initial, well, actually, this is the second amendment, I think, to your limited site plan review for the school. I think you've been before us twice before.
3 times.
3 times, okay, so this is the 4th time.
Yeah.
And you'd like to amend it again to incorporate what facility in the school?
Okay. Jonathan White, representing Tremont. Actually, the first 3 times, the setup was we had to automatically come in front of you each year. And the 3rd time we agreed until the board said it, that's until the enrollment, unless and until the enrollment got to either 72 or 75, we wouldn't have to come back. So this time we are coming back because of a new structure. The enrollment is still down at the 42 to 45 range this fall. We're proposing a new structure because Tremont is decided to, every year they have an additional grade. They started off in 6th grade, 5th grade, and their plan has always been to have those grades go all the way through high school. They're having their first 9th grade class this year, and even though the numbers are still quite small, they like to separate the different ages. So the conclusion was that, that's aggravating me, it's at an angle, we'll leave it there. The conclusion was that it was more efficient use of the amount of space that the church is giving them if they could bring in this modular office space to put Bills, who's head of school, and 2 other people, basically their administrative people, in this in this modular office. So the classroom space that they're renting from the church can be used exclusively for classrooms. So they're proposing a modular, we'll call it modular office space. The submission had, the dimensions of it, which is 56 by 11 feet 9 inches. 2 of you saw it on the sidewalk that that the location is one chosen because 1, it was acceptable to the church, and 2, it's close to the parking lot. It's towards the back of the property before you get to the parking lot, and it's close to the side entrance to the classrooms. So that's how the location was chosen. It'll sit on cement blocks, if you will, with some strap tie downs. And what else can I tell you? It has to be handicapped accessible, and so the footprint you see there shows a switchback. I'll get that term eventually. Switchback handicap ramp. I alerted Betsy this afternoon that if possible, we'd like to keep open the option of having a straight ramp. And what happened was they're trying to save as much money as possible here. It's tight. Originally, they thought they could get an off-the-shelf switchback, but they can't. The only off-the-shelf ramp they can get is the straight. If one of you referring to the plan, would you show how a straight ramp would be situated?
Yes. So when we measured it out today, the straight ramp would come off of this door, straight down 30 feet, have a landing here. There's a break in the bushes. As you remember, there are bushes between the sidewalk here and where there's a break in the bushes. It will land just about right there. And it would allow us as well, if possible, to move the modular office this way toward the sidewalk a little bit, giving us a little bit more room before this hill.
Wait. What I'm looking at is a total ramp length of twice this, right? So I'm not quite sure how it works. I mean, by the time you extend this out to twice the length, you're going off the edge of the hill. So,
Well, I think you'd lose this, so it'd be twice the length of that.
that's right.
Right.
That's what I said.
Have you met it?
That puts you out, you know, I'm just going by
okay.
that.
Have you measured it out up there?
We did measure it out the other day.
And they were just shy of that.
Yeah.
If there was any concern, and I know Steve mentioned this, they're hoping to preserve this as their playground. If they had to and it was hitting the slope, I assume what you would do, correct me otherwise, is you'd slide it this way because you don't, you know, for a handicap ramp, you can't be on the slope.
Of course, yeah. No, we would slide.
And today measuring it out.
So would that mean you'd move the whole trailer that way?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
And
wouldn't be
it
much.
would move this way?
By just the width, it would move that way by the width of, so we're talking
That'd be 4 feet.
4 feet. It'd be moving 4 feet that way and hover along that way to avoid hitting that slope.
Yeah. And this is a fence here. Are you going, it looks like a fence anyway. Are you going through is there a fence there?
There's a fence that's down in some parts. I think we would take the whole fence.
The whole fence comes down?
Did we see that? I don't know. My
The
powers of
bushes have
observation are
grown.
not good. I don't
The
remember.
bushes have grown around the fence.
Oh, it's in the bushes? And some of it's down?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So the cut-throughs, because all those bushes had cut-throughs. There's remnants of the fence, I guess.
But the bushes aren't shown, so we don't know.
How are you proposing to shield this trailer?
To
You can't see it from anywhere, David.
oh, shield.
Yeah,
Can you see it
it's
from anywhere?
No.
on the sidewalk,
It's
it's
all,
very heavy there.
yeah, the road's way down here.
So this is an interior sidewalk?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, that's where that large.
This is the
parking
Greek
area.
Orthodox
Yeah,
Church, which is
okay.
here, and Brown Street is where you are. And there's heavy vegetation,
That's just right here.
yeah,
Right.
along the street line. So you really cannot see it from the road.
But it's, if the,
Aquifer Protection District boundary.
Is there going to be a restroom in it?
Yeah, I had the same question. Oh,
Yes.
how do you handle getting rid of the waste?
We're contracting with a company to supply a RV-like system, totally self-contained water supply and water waste. It will be serviced weekly.
and they run that by the Board of Health.
Okay, so we need to get the Board of Health's decision on that. You have that?
No, but we can get it.
Okay. It just never dawned on me that you'd have a bathroom.
I think it is.
No.
I thought about asking, and I thought,
You did
no,
ask.
there's no, I did?
So I asked if there was plumbing, and the
Oh.
answer was no. Well, I guess the answer is still no.
Depends on,
Depends
Well,
on
I mean, from where to
the
where?
definition of
Plumbing. I don't have the decision on me.
Yeah.
I left it in school, but
all right, so we need that as
So
part
Board
of
of
the
Health has
decision.
approved it already?
Yes.
Okay.
So this won't have wheels and it won't have a trailer tongue hitch, correct?
The tongue is removed,
Tongue
and the
hitch.
skirting goes around the tree
Right.
when all is finished.
You said at the site walk that the electrical service line's gonna be buried.
That's the current quotation we have.
It says overhead.
yeah, that's, we put in overhead before we had talked to the electrician.
All
The
right.
electrician was recommending burying it.
Okay. So what we have is a number of things that are not what's shown on the plan that was submitted to us, so we're gonna need to make those changes.
And, we're hoping to get through tonight, so if that's going to be an impediment, the straight ramp, they'll bite the bullet financially and have the hand-built done. They hope we can get the option.
It's not a question of it being an impediment, we just need to have an accurate plan for both the electrical line, the ramp, and anything else that's not reflected on there.
I'd like to see where the bushes
Just need a
are, and the
revised
fact
plan.
that the walkways are going through the bushes, and some specification for what the gray areas are. That they were described that the site walk as crushed stone, but
Yeah.
it doesn't say on the site plan what they are.
So Mr. Colleen back there will be updating the plan. Is that right, Kelly? Are you the one who'll update it?
Correct.
Yep. Kelly's the engineer who worked with the church on the overall project when it was done 2
Yeah.
years ago.
It would just be helpful to see that the walkways are actually going between the bushes and we're not cutting down plants. I mean, for the record, what's actually gonna happen. And we aren't gonna have any outside lighting other than the door light?
Two door lights.
Two door lights.
And I get those,
Okay.
Well, since these folks haven't done it, I sent something to Lombardi Design and asked them to get us some relatively inexpensive lights that would meet your standards. They thought that would do it as a down light.
Okay. What's it rated for?
Either 60 or 100 watts. Or 70.
Does it say? Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it does. It's hard to read because it's in very pale gray. It says 60 watts. Okay, so 120 watts.
Plus the door will be on the two doors will be on the side facing the parking lot.
Right. Okay. Any other comments or questions, guys? No.
So I have Board of Health, bushes, walkway,
Trailer relocation, where it's going to actually go,
trailer reloc, and electric.
and you're going to note that you're going to take the fence down.
Yes. I did not see a fence when I was there.
It's pretty rugged.
Was it people cut through and knocked it down on the gaps between the bushes? Yeah, all right.
Now, what we're going to do is continue, because they still need to submit material, and then schedule them for the decision. And if you get the material into us, when would we continue the hearing to, Betsy? The 17th? Do you have a timetable?
Friday.
Oh, no. How did that happen?
What do you mean,
Friday.
Trailer's supposed to show up on Friday.
like the day after tomorrow, Friday?
School
Yeah,
starts on
there's-
September 2nd.
Well, Betsy was very accommodating, but she said there are no guarantees. She tried to write up as much as she could, but we knew there was no guarantee. They're just trying to make it start school.
Well, did you not realize you're gonna need this before, like, 4 days in advance of the trailer delivery? It's a question, it's not.
We submitted the application in the beginning of July.
Get scheduled as soon as it could.
That's a dilemma. We're not gonna have a decision.
How is it handled, and I know on the site, I can check with John, how is it handled on the non-site plan approval houses where I see so many of those construction trailers? How do they handle that from a permit perspective? I know this is because it's a structure on a school ground. It's limited site plan approval.
Maybe different because it's on wheels.
Excuse me?
Wheels? Does that make a difference?
No.
No.
But it's, I'm not even sure it's germane, because it's a, this
I'm
is.
just trying to find a way.
I know.
to make it work.
I mean, this, I'm not sure, it's not, you don't need a building permit for this, do you?
They did ask.
It needs
With
electrical
the electric-
permit.
I mean, when you do site plan approval, you know, like the construction trailers, how do you handle that on those?
We don't typically stipulate where the construction trailers go. We don't get to that level.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
More stipulating where they don't go.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, you give them all kinds of latitude on that, because you know, like this, that's one thing you haven't heard from the presentation.
That's-
The longest it'll be there is 2 years, which is the same time as some of those houses.
Well,
But
So it's a temporary structure.
Yeah, it's a temporary, just like a building, like a house construction trailer.
but it's not, I don't think they're anomalies. Because it's not, this isn't a temporary thing where this has a ramp and side walkways and.
It's very similar to the one that was
lighting fixtures
utilized
and,
in the construction of the church. It's very similar. However, the one for the church was actually placed much closer to the lot line near the residence, off to the right of the sheet there. It was actually placed over here. It actually had a double ramp going into it.
So what's the plan after 2 years?
But by that point, they're going to have to move, with which capacity at this site, classrooms won't handle the next grade.
I think you're gonna need a decision from us. I just don't know how to handle it, because there's no possible way we could do it.
Would it be possible to provide an as-built of the location?
Well, we need to issue a decision, and we have to vote on the decision. We don't have I don't see a decision.
You've written up a temporary one, a possible one.
I was hoping to, I didn't get a chance to do it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Voila.
All right, I know you're busy.
So, I just don't know. We've never encountered this particular one before.
Couldn't you make it analogous to, like
Well,
when the
what's
church
gonna,
was built?
is the school's world gonna come to an end if your trailer's not there by Friday? What happens?
Well, they'll still drop it there, they won't put it
You
up
just
or
can't-
use it.
I mean, I don't see any reason why you couldn't drop it there, you just couldn't use it.
And then the hearing would be continued until when, I mean, some of it depends on how long we're talking.
Sounds like we need to try to do it on September 2nd, not September 17th.
Well, it sounds
September
like it.
3rd, we
Or
could
3rd.
schedule it at 7:15.
Yeah, I think that's the best we could do.
Can't, you're bending over to give us that, you can't argue with it.
But you need to get those changes on the site plan to us at least a week in advance.
Which means next week.
Next week.
How does that look, Kelly?
That's fine, we can get
It's
them to you
okay.
tomorrow. Can the hearing be closed?
to.
No, we can't close the hearing, but if you get it to us as soon as possible, we'll actually open the meeting early to accommodate you on the 3rd. It's the
So
best
we're
we can
starting
do.
at 7.
And we'll actually have a decision that we
Yeah.
vote on
Yeah.
at that meeting, right?
Yeah.
That would be helpful if we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's different on that end.
Yeah, so that's, but there's no, I agree, I think that there's no reason, there's nothing in the bylaw that I know of that says you can't put an unoccupied trailer on a piece of property, so.
Just one last thought, did you do some type of waiver on Rivers for their tent or whatever it is?
Your-
Yerk? Yeah.
We issued a decision on
There was
that.
still a decision, okay. All right, so
We
is
have
that
more
the
time.
third, is that the third or the second?
The 3rd,
Third.
Wednesday.
7:15.
And we'll get that to you, Betsy, immediately, and if you think we're missing something, just you know, I'll touch bases with you on that.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, it's the best we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
How's the leg?
I'm ready. I may not make it the whole season, but I'm psyched. How about you?
Oh, yeah, I'm planning on the whole season.
And are you doing over 58?
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, I like playing with the youngsters.
We've been playing with the scrimmaging with a guy you're getting, your goalie,
Yeah, Will, somebody.
young, or wonderful, wonderful man. He's coaching him too. He can teach the rest of us how to play.
Excellent.
I mean, he's playing soccer. It's kind of pathetic watching the two of us, but we have a great time.
Our team is going to be much better this year than last year.
Yep. Well, you'll feel the full team, that alone.
It looks like it. We may actually be able to feel the full team.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's no fun when
We lost half our team because they went to the over 64 division.
pretty soon there's going to be an over 72 division.
There will be. There's some people that are old enough for it,
Yeah.
still playing soccer.